Ebusia mo bi akwaba 5 days ago na beto dwa say Attorney General Dominic Ayine I instructed EOCO say omu investigate Joseph Yamin any one NDC top official friend Abanga over their involvement with this illegal galamsey ayekoso Ghana hasisi no. Na no sanse we beto dwa Joseph Yamin quickly rushed to Abusia FM one radio station, top radio station Okumase. Eko deny this claim say no onye involved. What you say? Was onye involved or ja galamsey po galamsey kura no nim ba bia galamsey kwan da. Na this sanse we ko tu dwa no. Ena ene Felix of Osukwachi, only in charge of communication or the presidency, copy TV3. No, what say President Mahama personally and a director, Attorney General Dominic Ayine, say on also director EOCO for no investigator Joseph Yamin, Desabanga guy, no, na se omundi fwa ya clear omundi na so omundi fonso a omundi reporting be do no President Mahama anima he will know the next step to take mumie nkoti ensema ye Felix Ofosukwachi ekopie mo TV3 no odi tudwa efa this Joseph Yamin issue na ayebru haha e wo Ghana ha sie de mumie nkoti.
President Mahama and his government remain extremely serious about the fight against galamsey. Indeed, a manifestation of that seriousness is what you projected on your screen a while ago. The investigation of two leading figures of the National Democratic Congress. And these are extremely senior figures. We are talking about a vice chairperson who will act in the stead of the chairman if he were to become indisposed or not available. And then the national organizer, who is a key member of both the national executive and the functional executive of the party. Now they don't come bigger than that. And it is only a president who is serious about a fight like that who will have the boldness to ask for investigations into the conduct of these individuals. Now, if I were to track back, I will tell you that 2 weeks ago, President Mahama held a high-level meeting at the Jubilee House. It involved the defense minister, the interior minister, the lands minister, the attorney general, the environment minister, and indeed all those who matter within the security apparatus. And he told them very clearly that nobody should become an impediment or a hindrance in the fight against galamsey, and that it doesn't matter the stature of the person involved in galamsey or allegedly involved in galamsey, they should have his full backing, or they have his full backing to go after such individuals. He even said that even if his brother is involved in galamsey, the team has his full backing to go after that individual. That meeting was preceded by another one that was held at the highest levels of the National Democratic Congress, where similar marching orders were given. The Riot Act was read to everybody who believes that their mere membership of the NDC and the fact that we have come to power gives them leave to engage in illegal mining would only have him or herself to blame. I must indicate that the two gentlemen have strongly denied any involvement in galamsey, which is their right to do. But as the Attorney General indicated, they will be taken through the same processes as everybody else will be taken through if they were to be alleged to be involved in this action. So that point must be clearly established. I also wish to state that President Mahama has not departed from any of the positions he took on galamsey when he was campaigning to become president. I noticed that every now and then there are some civil society operators and members of the MPP who make the claim that somehow he has departed. Galamsey started as some artisanal activity by low-level people within society who merely wanted to make ends meet. Before long, more powerful individuals in society had joined the fray. And it is that which has made the fight a bit more difficult than it should have been. And now I'm on record to have said that the only thing that has stood in the way of winning the fight is political will to go after the high and mighty in society. President Mahama has that political will. And as I said before, it doesn't matter who is involved. And he has a track record of prosecuting his own. So he is not someone who will shrink from the responsibility of taking on people merely because of their membership of the NDC. There are people in the NDC who have expressed disquiet and have wondered whether this will have an impact on our fortunes or not. President Mahama believes that fighting galamsey will rather enhance the fortunes of the NDC. So that must be placed on record. The other issue too is that significant gains have been made. And I can say that galamsey or the fight against it has seen significant improvement compared to what we had under the MPP.
If you say significant improvement,
it is clear. Look, first of all, the will alone, the will to do this sort of thing was non-existent under the MPP. We knew about high-ranking party officials and government officials who were involved in this activity, and no action was taken against them. We know. But since we came to power, and it's been 6 months, we are comparing 6 months to 8 years. Everybody knows that it will take a bit longer to achieve the results that we want. It doesn't mean that between the time we came into power and now, we have been sleeping. Significant work has gone in. And indeed, I can tell you for free that between the time we came to power and now, 518 people have been arrested for engaging in galamsey. 518. In fact, 246 excavators have been seized. Some of them have been burnt. There are some who have expressed misgivings about that approach.
What level of people are these?
Now, let me make the point. If you are seen involved in it, you will be arrested and prosecuted. So your level or the lack of it won't matter. If there's evidence that you are a kingpin, you don't go to the ground to mind yourself, but you are the one basically sponsoring the activity. We will come for you as well.
But is there any record of any kingpin being
we can get a breakdown. In fact,
that was the specific promise.
In fact,
that you made as
on
well.
Wednesday, the Lands Minister will be at the Government Accountability Series, and he will shed light on the details of these arrests and what have you. But of course, you need to have the evidence of the involvement of the kingpin. It cannot be based on assumption before you are able to go for them. At the very least, there's a high-ranking official of the, in fact, 2 high-ranking officials of the NDC, and I must place on record that they have a right to insist on their innocence, which they have done. We respect that up until evidence is brought against them. Surely, these 2 individuals don't go to the ground to engage in galamsey, do they? So, at the very least, you can describe them as kingpins and financiers. But the president says they should be investigated, and they are going to be investigated. So that is an example right there of supposed kingpins being held accountable for their alleged, and I use the word advisedly, alleged involvement in galamsey. 246 excavators have been seized. Let me also say that no excavator has gone missing. And in fact, you in the media too must learn to go to official sources for information. One of the things that we do, I'm coming, one of the things we do in this country is that we trivialize issues. So the moment anybody says anything, we don't probe it. Then we run with it. Well, if you let me land.
I get your point. But you see,
the focal, I beg your pardon. You see, first of all, the focal point, the focal person for the fight against galamsey is the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. He has help from other agencies, security agencies, to do the job. To coordinate the activity, he has recently launched the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS. So if you want information on what is happening under galamsey, please go to these people.
Okay.
There are times when people shoot from the hip and engage in activity that they don't have responsibility for. No excavator has gone missing. I'm the official person of government. I'm telling you that on authority. Nothing of the sort has happened.
Well, that's good to know. But you see, if reason why I would not also stay quiet if you fault the media for as you put it, running with anything and everything. If you say if anybody makes any statement, we run with it. This is Hannah Bishu. Hannah Bishu is not just anybody. She heads the Minerals Development Fund. That institution in itself is not.
That may be true, but does the Mineral Development Fund? Does the Mineral Development Fund have a mandate to fight?
But we reported. No, you can't. No. We reported what she said.
Even she says that what she said was not accurately reported.
Yes.
You see, so that is the sense. You see, again, that is the sensationalism bit.
That's why.
That is the. You see, you see, in the same way that public office holders must be serious, they must be credible. You see, what they say must be substantive. You also have a duty to cross-check information so that you don't create impressions that don't exist. I am telling you that no excavator has gone missing. In fact, she, who you quote, has publicly said that nothing of the sort has happened. In that the excavators were not even lawfully. The excavators were not lawfully in the possession of the police.
Exactly.
So they could not have been seized. So if there was an excavator, I beg your pardon.
After the fact.
Yes,
So
yes, but that is why. That is why you see.
After the fact.
You see. That is why. That is why you know the source to go to.
Come. No, let's.
I beg your pardon. That is why. That is why you should know the source to go to. You see, when I come to this institution, and I want the position of your organization, I won't speak to the watchman. You understand me? I can come and speak to the watchman. He can give me an account, but it is not an account that will stand scrutiny. In the same way that your general manager, your general manager's account. So I'm only advising that one of the ways that we win the fight is accuracy.
Yeah.
We must avoid sensationalism and blowing things out of proportion. If you want information, it is the lands minister or the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat. I can assure you that steps have been taken to ensure that the sort of commentary that went on in this particular instance doesn't recur. Right. Because it only muddies the waters and makes the fight a bit more difficult. Now, bulldozers, guns, motorbikes, vehicles have all been seized.
Right.
And the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, has been set up to coordinate this fight. Again, it is also very important that in the discussion we delineate the issues. There are civil society operatives who actually believe that we shouldn't even do mining at all in this country.
Yes.
It doesn't matter where you go and do the mining, they will say that it hurts the environment, it hurts butterflies, it hurts animals, so stop. You understand me?
Yeah.
That view can be respected. It does not mean that it necessarily coincides with the interests of the country. It doesn't mean that mining in itself hurts the environment if it is done responsibly. The reason why I say this is this persistent commentary on the LI 2462. You see, the impression is created that the reason why people are mining illegally in forest reserves is because of this law. That is not the case. That law works in conjunction with 13 other laws, parent laws, to regulate lawful mining activity in forest reserves.
Okay.
Lawful mining activity in forest reserves. It does not regulate illegal mining activity. In that regulation, the president was given power to ask the minister to grant a lease to mining companies to do mining in forest reserves. But that is lawful. It is regulated. And therefore is not harmful to the environment in the same way that illegal miners do it. You understand me?
Right.
Now, today, you cannot say that you have scrapped regulations that guide how a particular activity provided for by law should be done. The moment you do that, there is no regulation. It means that you are creating chaos. Some have said that there used to be guidelines, but the guidelines don't exist anymore. They have been replaced by regulations properly passed by the Parliament of Ghana. The problematic clause in that was that the president could grant the lease. That has been removed. There's another law, the Mining and Minerals Act, that allows mining to be done in forest reserves, but lawfully. You see, some also say that we should even ban immediately mining in forest reserves. Alfred, you see, we are a country of laws. Between 1987 and last year, 20 mining leases have been granted to companies. We have taken money from them and agreed that they should mine lawfully in forest reserves. They include some of the biggest mines in the world, Newmonts and what have you. You've taken their money. Then midstream, you decide that you have banned mining activity. The implication is that you must find their money for them. It runs into billions of dollars. Do you have billions of dollars to hand over to these companies to ask them to leave immediately? No. So you can't go to parliament and pass a law that today everybody should stop mining in forest reserves. Unless, of course, you are able to reach agreement for them to walk away quietly or give them alternative places to mine. But even then, they have to agree. You cannot enforce that. No court in this land, in the world, will ever vindicate the rights of a government that does that. It will be lawless. And it will damage our reputation as a country permanently in terms of investment. I must also stress that those companies are doing so responsibly because they have the expertise and capacity to reclaim the land for you after in fact, it was a condition for granting them that lease. So whereas we respect the views of civil society and those who say that, it must be tested against the reality, the objective reality, the interests of the country, and what we can or cannot do as a government.
Right.
The other issue too about state of emergency, and it's important that Martin asked that question. You see, what is the state of emergency? It means that you say that special a special dispensation has come into play. When you see a minor shoot him dead, the president will take responsibility. That is what we are saying. But why are we suggesting in this country that we should operate a shoot to kill policy? Look, even murder, when somebody kills a human, which is perhaps the most ultimate crime in human history, you have to go through. You are not allowed to shoot a person dead immediately. You accuse him of murder. Armed robbery. The punishment for armed robbery is not summary execution. Do you understand me? Yeah. So Galamsey is a horrible crime, but there's a reason why laws are made so that we don't live in a chaotic society. So tomorrow, soldiers will kill people extrajudicially, and they will come and tell you that they are minors. Go and put them in mining pits and claim that they are minors. You have no way of knowing whether or not it is true. Indeed, we have had instances where the police have opened fire on people, killed them, and come to claim that they are armed robbers. When the alternative narrative shows that indeed they were not armed robbers. So you cannot allow that. And then thirdly, Alfred, do we necessarily need a state of emergency before we can fight Galamsey? People speak as though the day you declare a state of emergency, Galamsey is one. That is, it is not as simple as that. So that's why I said that yes, civil society has a right to speak, but let us not create an impression that the moment civil society says this, that is what must happen. Otherwise, there's no other path. Look, if you hold, and I have said it, I have accused President Akufo-Addo of, if you like, indirectly encouraging Galamsey because of his lack of will to fight it. The day you get a leader who is willing to go for any and everybody involved, we will begin to win it. And that's what President Mahama is doing. That is what you require. You don't need a state of emergency to hold Abanga or Yamin accountable if there's evidence that they are engaged in Galamsey. You need a state of emergency to do that. Some said that, oh, we said this in opposition. We said that the law should be repealed. True. But you see, when you take over power, you have a right to act responsibly. You review all the facts. You review all the existing issues and then make a determination how to go. If you have a path that achieves the same objective. For instance, I'm coming to TV3. When I was coming, I used the switchback route. Okay? If I also go through Osu and come here, what matters is that I have come to TV3 on time to engage in the activity to the extent that it was not an illegal route. So yes, there was a chorus about repealing the, what do you call it, airline. True. We may have said so too. But if you come into power and say, look, no, there are existing agreements that tie our hands and we can't do this. Unless anybody can tell me that what I'm saying is not true. Why? All the leases that we have given to these companies, the day we say they should stop, is Dr. Zato and those who are calling for this. Are they saying that we have billions of dollars to hand over to these people immediately so that they walk away? What is the alternative arrangement? What is the alternative arrangement to finding the money for them to live? Where is it? They don't state it. In any event, again, I asked Dr. Zato, is the reason why mining is taking place in forest reserves this LI 2462? The answer is no. That is not why mining is taking place there. There are 13 other legislations that encourage that activity. So once the president no longer, and going forward, we are not able to grant mining leases in forest reserves, it's the beginning of the war. But we must find a way that allows for a transitional arrangement for what we ourselves have entered into. We can't go and collect money and then turn around mystery that they should leave. So because there's a
you acknowledge the fact that you made that promise.
True.
First of all, that you're going to repeal the LI 2462 if you win.
True.
You've come, you said you have assessed the situation.
Absolutely.
You are tied into a number of agreements.
Exactly. You can't act
saying that
whimsically.
There's a transition to eventually repeal
First of all,
LI.
Ultimately.
No.
Yes, ultimately.
No.
Let me tell you something. Ultimately,
repeal the
you see,
LI.
some have even suggested that, okay, repeal the LI and do new regulations. What does that achieve? That this LI doesn't achieve. What, again, and I'm asking Dr. Zato, point blank, what is in this LI, apart from the pact that has been removed, that encourages or allows people to mine in forest reserves? It is not that. It is the leases you yourself has granted that allows Newmont to go into a forest reserve to mine. That is it. So if you repeal this LI, first of all, what you've done is that there's actually no governing regime. Nothing regulates what they are doing, which is chaotic. And then number two, it does not automatically take away the rights that you've given to that entity to mine in forest. And I'm talking lawful mining, not illegal. As for illegal mining, it is illegal to begin with. So you don't even need to do anything beyond enforcing the law. That is it. So these are the issues. And I'm saying that we respect the views of civil society. We respect it, and absolutely.
Right.
but we must
Right,
pause.
Okay.
Oh no. I can't say that.
Let me.
But we must pause. We must pause and reflect on the matters before we take positions.
You know, he's the
government bring in Engineer Dr.
That's why at that point I was talking. But he mentioned Mr. I want to say something.
Engineer Dr. is on the move. Okay. And so I would have to just quickly pick him. He is, yes, Engineer, can you hear me? He's the CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, and then also the leader of the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining. I can hear you clearly. You have.
When I come to do this program, I'm not speaking as the
CEO of the
Chamber of Mines.
You're the leader of the coalition.
As the coalition.
Before he comes.